Have you ever wondered why people who don't have a lot of money buy luxury brands? Well, it might actually be that they need to feel like they look rich without actually being rich at all. It's not a flex to buy things beyond one's means, but luxury brands have made us all think this. Wealthy people, on the other hand, do not wear many luxury brands or loud logos because they don't need to look rich. I mean, have you ever seen Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg wearing a Gucci belt? Brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and Versace have learned to play on the insecurities of the lower and middle class. Brands with flashy logos are appealing to the lower and middle class because it acts like a status symbol. For many people, seeming financially successful to others is a priority, even if they are not that well off. These brands target the lower and middle class customers who desperately want to look rich without having much money at all. There's a vicious cycle that occurs where more lower and middle class wear luxury brands that they often can't afford. Then, people around them in similar financial situations see these items and buy for themselves. The majority of luxury branded items, mainly with flashy logos, are worn primarily by the lower and middle classes. It's no wonder that the lower and middle class consumers account for nearly half of the luxury goods market globally, with this segment expected to expand to nearly 450 million by 2025. While these brands may allow people to seem rich, the reality is that buying them can prevent people from achieving their financial goals or achieve real wealth. For individuals facing financial hardship, buying expensive brands can be a way to temporarily escape their circumstances and immerse themselves in a world of luxury and privilege. Given the events of 2020, you would think that people would lay off the luxury brands, but instead the opposite has happened. Luxury brand sales have flourished in the years following the pandemic. The luxury goods market in 2022 was estimated at $242 billion, and this number is expected to increase to $369 billion by the year 2030. Even during times of economic uncertainty, luxury brands continue to have a tight grasp on consumers, especially the lower and middle class. While most wealthy people wouldn't be caught purchasing the things that the lower classes see as symbols of wealth. Let's look at the Payless experiment, for example. Payless opened a store called Paylessy and sold the same items for luxury prices to a group of influencers. They managed to fool influencers into thinking their shoes were luxury just by manipulating higher prices and creating luxurious displays of products. Influencers testified to being willing to pay $645 for footwear that normally retails for $19.99 to $39.99. It showed people's willingness to pay for items that are just brand names and luxury despite the quality not matching up to the price. Marketing is everything when it comes to luxury brands, and selling to those who are desperate to appear rich is key. Brands can also simply gift influencers their products in exchange for some social media exposure. This is perfect for marketing, as it's predicted that by 2025, over 50% of the luxury goods consumers will be Gen Z, who could hardly even afford basic life necessities. Brands often have lower quality or mid-range products with flashy logos that are marketed towards the lower and middle classes. The more high-end brands have hidden logos that are reserved for people who actually are wealthy. Recently, a lot of people have been discussing the difference between old money and new money. Old money would be like the owners of Walmart or McDonald's, while new money would be like your favorite TikToker who became rich in 2020. Old money doesn't need to boast because they're used to being rich, and anyone who knows them probably already knows that. But new money flaunts luxury items because they didn't grow up rich and they feel like they need to show it off. Wealthy people see little reason to purchase luxury brands for appearances. For example, have you ever seen Adam Sandler wear luxury brands? Yet, his net worth is around $240 million. He does not need to wear flashy brands because he already has important investments and assets. Adam Sandler has mentioned many times in interviews that he just wears whatever is comfortable. He does not need to prove to anyone that he's rich because everyone already knows he is. If you didn't know who he was though, you'd probably think he's just a regular guy that didn't have a lot of money. And maybe that's the point. I mean, if you saw Mark Zuckerberg at the mall and you didn't know who he was, you'd probably think he has an outfit from Walmart. But people in their circles would know that it doesn't matter what you're wearing because they're actually wealthy. One of the most trendy icons of old money or quiet luxury at the moment is Lionel Richie's daughter, Sophia Richie. Sophia rarely wears anything with a logo, but often wears luxury high fashion mainly because she likes the quality of it and how it looks. So we have to ask ourselves, if wealthy people do not care about luxury brands and logos, then why do the middle and lower class obsess over it? Who are the middle and lower classes trying to look like if most rich people don't even wear flashy logos? On the other hand, if buying luxury products here and there brings people joy or happiness and doesn't hurt their finances too much, then it's not a major issue. The problem arises when people feel that they need to buy luxury brands in order to seem rich, and when they buy it even if it's beyond their means. Because if we take a look at the most wealthy people, they have one thing that the lower middle class don't have, and that's the freedom of their time. Most wealthy people don't work traditional jobs, but they own businesses and assets. Rather than purchasing luxury brands in an attempt to look rich, it might be better to invest that money into something that can actually allow someone to actually stand a chance at becoming rich, like properties or businesses. It's important to be aware of what we're spending on and why we even wanted it in the first place. If the answer is to look cool or seem rich, then we're just letting these brands take advantage of our weaknesses. But if it makes you happy being dripped out in designer logos from head to toe, then by all means, go for it. But it's important to keep in mind how these brands might be preying on your insecurities in order to spend money excessively. Of course, we are experiencing a cost of living crisis where owning traditional things like buying a house are almost impossible, so perhaps spending on small luxury items might be a way to treat ourselves. But that doesn't mean that we have to fall for the traps that these luxury brands set for us. If you enjoyed the video, can you please like and subscribe? It would really help out the channel. And until next time, thanks for watching.